Hey y'all, welcome to my channel, and my name is Legina Gold, and this is the Virgo Moons of the Gold Moon series. And thank you guys for tuning in so much. And before I start, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because you know that Virgo energy, you know you gotta be very critical and very motherfucking selfish and detailed oriented and very correct, right? So before I start, you know, this is a Aries moon. It's not an Aries moon. This is actually a Virgo moon. I don't know why I keep saying Aries, because you know it's my own moon sign. So Virgo moons is emotional side of you. You guys are very. The moon is ruled by Cancer. It's the moon sign, and the moon sign is how we feel in our everyday life. So if we feel like anything, it's because it's our moon sign, and our moon sign is how we deal with life and how we deal with our feelings. And because this is a Virgo moon is very critical. Virgo moon is very self-critical and critical of others. You guys are very hard on yourself. You guys are very critical of what you guys feel like. So you might feel like a lot of people down you guys or are critical of you guys, but you are more so critical of your own self. It's because you have a mothering sign. It's a sign that you guys was raised by your mother to feel like your mother criticized you a lot. You probably feel like your mother didn't love you enough, or they wanted you to be the perfect standard of their highest ability, and you feel like you didn't live up to it, so you in turn probably criticize your own self. They probably was very get things done, or very detail oriented. They probably point out the details that you notice in your own self, and then they probably put it in the grander scheme thing and kind of pointed out your own flaws, and you probably like, Ma, I know this about myself. I know already. And as you can see, this is a moon sign. I'm already on whatever cup I am at this video. So, and this kind of mixed with two wines at this point. But you know, it's the home video. You got to be very attuned with your own self. And, you know, you left my smoke session. Now use my drink session. So, for you guys are very critical. You guys are very critical of other. You might sound very critical of yourself. You might feel like the way you talk and your emotional stuff, you gotta judge a lot of people. You might just call people names, and that's the Mercury energy, and you might just point out. So let's say if somebody is like obese in some kind of way, you guys gonna say with your fat ass. You're gonna say with your big overeating ass. You guys are the ones that's gonna bring out the detail of other people. And I can't really say anything just because I have an Aries moon placed in my 6th house of Virgo. So if I do say something, it's gonna be critical. It's gonna be kind of the truth. So you guys are like that. You guys are very critical, and for me, I feel like you shouldn't judge other people, and you guys can come out as judgmental, but because of Virgo energy, you guys are only critical of people you care about. So for the fact that they're not saying anything and the emotional self are not criticizing me, then you don't really care, because you're just like, it's not my problem, or I don't really care enough to say something to critique it to make it better. And you guys could be the very healthiest people. You might feel like you have to go help other people. You might feel like you have to go be in service to other people. You might have to be very healthy, conscious wise. You must love a lot of animals. Like, that's that Virgo energy in you. But on the opposite, and you might be very unhealthy. You might be very not critical of yourself. You might not pay attention to the things that you need to handle in your emotional state, because you can either do or don't. And if you don't do it, then damn, what are you doing? And then in my heart, I just feel like, man, you know, or only I know, or anybody else placement and that kind of know. So it's like, if you're not willing to work on your own self, then it's like no point in you judging anybody else if you're not going to. But you have to understand that's in your emotional self. That's in your emotional side. So like a Gemini that I brought up in my previous video, Geminis are more of just the one that just could talk a lot and then make fun at you and just say a lot of joking things about you. You guys could say the things that's gonna hurt. You guys can say the things that's gonna point out, and it's true. It's true though. But if you're not if you are not perfect yourself, then you can't really judge other people to be perfect, and that's the only thing you guys need to realize. And it's also, like I said, is about your mother figure or the one that God raised you. You might feel like you couldn't live up to a perfect standard. You probably feel like your mother didn't help you when you needed to be helped. And you probably feel like they could help other people, or you probably feel like your mother will use you to go help other people and to be a service to other people, and instead of being a service to you. Because I have a sister, she's a Virgo Moon, and she also said that our mother didn't tell her that she was beautiful enough, and that she didn't compliment her enough. So those critiquing could be either good critiques or very bad critiques. And she probably felt like she only criticized her for her negative qualities about her until she finally got to adult her, and she's like, oh, you're pretty, and you're all that other stuff that I heard personally before that she probably didn't necessarily heard, because that's how she experienced our mother in her lifetime. And she probably felt like she didn't live up to the perfect standard of how she wanted her daughter to be, and she didn't feel like that's what she is. So, Virgo Moons, you guys could be very critical. You guys can point out the details. So if you're on your emotional self, you can point out everything that motherfucking that you notice that you're going to point out. You guys, it depends on how your Virgo Moon, where it's placed in your natal chart, which house it is, and how it is aspected. You guys going to be very critical of others. Meanwhile, you don't look in the mirror and point at your own self. You can point at your own self, but when other people criticize you, you might take it even worse. And it's just because you want to be perfect in everybody's image. Your emotional state is to be perfect. Your emotional state is to be sufficient. Your emotional state is to be done and be healthy and to be the best version of yourself. So when you're not the best version of yourself, you might feel it too deeply to your core. Like you don't live up to other people's expectation, and then you have to understand sometimes you do, and what expectation matters to other people don't necessarily should matter to you, and what matters to you shouldn't necessarily what matter what other people's expectation is. And it's good to be critical, because we do need somebody that's not going to be very just like Gemini Vase and just talk shit, or Aries Moon is just a react to shit, or just a Leo Moon is more of a seeking self. You guys could be more critical. We need somebody that's more analyze certain details. Like my sister, she pointed out certain details I never noticed in my mother before, because my mother's a Libra Moon, so she's literally just gonna blame every kid, even though we don't got nothing to do with that situation. She's gonna put it in, and I never noticed that. My Aries Moon made me kind of just think about what I think about sometimes, and because she's a Virgo Moon, she's gonna criticize. She can notice the small detail that she pointed out. Yeah, she's just gonna blame everybody else, and just so she won't feel bad as a Libra Moon. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I can't believe I didn't realize that, because my Aries Moon is my Virgo house, so I kind of do after I do finally pay attention. It's like, oh yeah, she does do that. So thank you for pointing out that detail. Like, okay, I understand. And without people like you and people like her, we wouldn't be able to. So when you guys are in your emotional state, you guys are very practical. You're an earth sign. You're just not, you're a mutable sign too. Mutable, very mutable. So you guys are very, either be fixated or cardinal, and very just, okay, I'm going to start stuff. And you guys, in your moon sign, the thing about what I don't personally like is when you guys will critique certain people, because I believe words have power, and because you guys are the one that's going to speak the facts, and the one that's going to critique the most, and the one that's going to be very truth honest, or very honest based, you have to realize people have emotional, so you can't really point out the detailed flaws. So if somebody is big, do not say that like in a way, oh, you're just fat, so you need to just stop eating and do that. Don't criticize them. Just be more use your words nicely, because words do have power, and a lot of people do be offended by the little things and the big things and whatever things that people are offended by, because I do get offended by a lot of things, and I do blame myself for a lot of things. So for Virgos, you guys do criticize a lot of things. It's only because you guys criticize yourself more and your emotional stuff. You feel like out of all the kids, or out of all the, if you have a more than one siblings, then you might feel like out of all her kids, she criticized you the most. And it can be true, but you probably won't like it, so you probably will criticize other people, because that's what a lot of people did to you, and you pick up on that trait. So all I can say for Virgo moons is to stop living up to people pedestal and their standard of perfect, and live it to your own. But if you're not living into the minimum stage of perfectionism, then like as far as you're not healthy, or you're just the one that's going to for other people to judge you for, and you know it's worth them judging, then change that shit. Change it, because that's all you can do. Because you might think people saying it to hurt you. Other people like me will say it because we want you to be better and healthier. So if you're in a low vibration of that Virgo moon, then I will want you to be more healthier. I will want you to do more better. But I'm not going to say it to the way that's going to hurt you. I'm just going to say the truth, but it's not going to say it like that. You guys will say this truth and say it and mean it, but you guys have to understand, it's a time and place for everything. If you can't say nothing nice, then don't say it at all. That's what I was taught when I was like 10. But don't let nobody just live unhealthy and not in the best interest of their own self and the best benefit of their own self. And because you live in a world where you feel like a lot of people criticize you, or you feel like you have to criticize you and to be earth-based, because that's your emotional time. You're supposed to. And I'm not going to say just not do it, because that's what you're supposed to do. That's just how you express yourself. That's what other people do to you, and that's your pattern. That's what you're supposed to do. But if you not are the one of that archetype or that perfect image, then don't expect a lot of people to be in that perfect image. You have to understand that sometimes your words can be harsh and can be mean. Sometimes. And it's not because you want it that way. It's because that's how you felt that way. And because how you feel is going to express how you go around in the everyday life. So pay attention to that, and then pay attention to yourself, and then pay attention and realize life is not just perfect. But as long as you do try, then hopefully you do try, and then, just do what you do. Boo. Alright? So I hope you like this video. This is just a quick Virgo moon video. And as you can see, I already like it. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I don't got really much to say about Virgo moon. You guys are the most practical sign. You are the one that's going to get it done. If you don't get it done, then you're not going to do anything. And that's y'all. So what? That's your emotional state. Just to make sure you guys practice the way to calm in your emotional stuff and actually try amplifying that Virgo energy, because that Virgo energy is going to get it done. So if you're not going to do anything, you're not going to do it. But if you're going to do something, you're going to do it. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to tune in some more for the other videos. So bye.